Now I got you. We're just getting that. We're just getting that out of the way right off
that,
the jump.
On a I don't even know, short form video, because I initially generically want to call them TikToks, but I've never had TikTok.
Well, now it's not TikTok anymore. It's gone, right?
No, it's still out there. You just can't download it now. So
okay.
So if you've already downloaded it, you're good. But if you're never downloaded it, so I'm gonna stand on my soapbox. Is that what soapbox? That sounds right.
Salt box.
Salt box, yes. A box full of salt, because that's how much I buy it in the box load. I never got TikTok, and so the Chinese government doesn't have my information.
Well, not through that.
Well, yeah, through other.
You have ordered through Alibaba quite a lot.
Oh yeah, I actually am waiting on on something I ordered from DHgate.
There you go.
So they have that information, but no, they don't. They don't got my algorithm.
Yeah. Well, shaka to that, bro.
Which I really always, if I was going to start another band, it's probably already been taking, but there's the algorithm, but I wanted to make the band called the Al Gore Rhythm, just Al Gore dancing as the logo.
Yes,
Al
and then
Gore Rhythm.
It's just all of his policies turned into songs.
It's actually just what the fuck is this documentary called? An Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Just remixes of that. It's like doomsday, doomsday, doomsday.
Yeah,
doomsday.
And the album's called The Convenient Truth.
The Unconvenient Truth.
Yeah, the Unconvenient Untruth. Welcome back to the Triple R Podcast, everybody. It is a goofy day today, and to that I say, shaka, brother.
Okay, you go to Hawaii for what? You weren't even there for a week, were you?
Well, not quite. 5 days.
So not even a week.
But I got the island vibe, brada.
Well, yeah, just
the island.
Is that now you're going just Jamaican?
Hey, if the island vibe is cultural appropriation, consider me Dog the Bounty Hunter. All right.
You go so cultural appropriation. You go to a different ocean.
You
go over a continent.
I'm just not an impressions guy. That's all.
That's true.
I do my best.
Everything just ends up sounding like the Lucky Charms guy.
Why does everything I do sound like a leprechaun?
It's the Irish
you tell me.
It's the Irish oozing out of you.
Speaking of oozing out, hasn't it been super cold, super cold over there?
It was while you were in Hawaii. So as we joked about in the Neil episode, I am running a marathon, and so I have to go running. Because
to be fair, it's not just a Neil episode that we've talked about. That.
Oh no, it's a consistent
60%.
It's either
when is this marathon, dude?
It's in April, luckily,
of 2027.
Yes. I'm really gearing up for it. To be fair, I think this entire time we've been had this podcast going, I have been training for a marathon.
I know. That's all it ever is. I'm like, hey, what did you do today? Fucking ran.
Yeah, as you were texting me at 11 p.m. last night, I'm like, I need to go to bed. I worked and ran.
I was just having an existential crisis, and you're like, dude, I gotta go to sleep.
I was like, I need to go sweep.
Yeah.
I think were my exact words.
Like, you motherfucker.
So yeah, it has been cold, and we do have a treadmill, but we're redoing our basement to make it more of a basement gym, which we're going to go on a tangent because you just did that with your garage.
Yep, I just got it all finished up right before recording, actually.
What do you have in there? Do you have the walking pad that screams when you step on it?
Yep, walking pad that smokes and screams. It's like an old New Jersey person.
It's also in the mob.
Yeah, taking out the trash. Give me the gabagool. But yeah, we have that. So we laid down.
Also, I'm going to stop here, though. Do you know what gabagool is?
Gabagool is capicola.
Yeah. I learned that recently because Abby keeps saying gabagool because I can't remember what we were watching, and I was like, "But you hate capicola. You don't like Italian meats, and I love Italian.
I love Italian meats. That will be the death of me. I think is all the nitrates and sodium from deli meats.
You're speaking my language, baby.
We can only hope that's the cause of it, right?
To be fair, my favorite deli meats are the ones that will kill me the earliest. They're all heavily salted because I love it, like a good corned beef or pastrami.
Oh my god, yes.
And
the best. Yeah, corned beef is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's just it's like, do you want it more? Do you want your deli meat more Italian-y or more like Jewish Irish?
Yeah, I prefer Jewish delis, but I love a good Italian deli as well. There's one called the Old Market down in Covina, like 10 minutes from us. That's just fantastic.
Oh yeah, a fresh like good deli is the best. Not getting whatever out of the plastic container at the grocery store.
Yeah, because that has all the preservatives, nitrates, and microplastics.
Yes. Hey, they put it in a nice like plastic baggie for you.
Yeah, that doesn't have any microplastics.
No, it does not.
Because it's from the butcher.
Yes, exactly.
Anyways, so we finished up the epoxy floor. I just finished up painting. Now really all we have to do is hang up the TV and stuff like that and get new equipment because we're operating on OfferUp equipment right now that was clearly outside of somebody's house, so it's all rusty and squeaky and I think we've talked about that on the of how I got. Are you going to be able to mount the TV? Yeah, we reinforce. So one of the reasons we started the project. Are you physically? Oh, me personally? God, no. I got to hire somebody to come and do that.
Well, if you wait, like the 2 months until I visit, I don't know if you want to. Actually, it's like a month and a half now.
It's like, it's coming up. Not to date the podcast too much, but it's coming up quick. St. Patty's Day, baby.
I feel like you're just gonna have to be you're gonna have to check a bag full of tools so you can fix things.
I need my tools.
My tool. Which every time I do grab like my tool bag, Abby does say that my tools.
I need my tools. Oh, shout out Always Sunny. I know we always give recommendations. I don't think we've ever recommended that on this officially.
Well, we've talked about. Did we talk about the episode where like you did recommend it to someone? They're like, "This is the worst show ever."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think I've soured on recommending it because a lot of people hate that show.
Well, I've been enjoying. I'm not sure if you watch Abbott Elementary, but they had the crossover with Sunny, and I saw a great meme of it. It was like when Abbott Elementary people finally go and watch Always Sunny because of the crossover episode, and just like horror faces.
Oh.
Because it's the first episode, like the gang gets racist.
Yeah, it's the pilot. They were selling the show to see if they could get it picked up. And not only is it called The Gang Gets Racist, but they drop the N-word with a hard R several times.
They do. It's another like quote I do.
No, cut that. That's not a quote that you do.
No, not that quote. I don't quote the N-word. The hard R.
The timing of
Trump
that was
America,
terrible.
Baby.
Our savior is here. We can finally say whatever we want again.
Hey, at least in Nebraska, baby.
Oh yeah, you know that's right.
LA.
What do you always quote?
They're hanging from the rafters.
Yeah. Here's your coffee, and here's yours, Hitler. I'm not Adolf Hitler. I was quoting a friend. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and so if you need help mounting, I just mounted a TV. Finally, Abby was on me about mounting the TV in our bedroom, and I finally did it. And it was like that only took me like 20 minutes.
I know we've been meaning to do that in our bedroom too, and I just keep not doing it.
Do you have tools? Speaking of tools, my tools.
We do. There's a smattering of tools.
Yeah.
There, we have 3 or 4 of those pre-bought boxes of tools, and tools from one is in the other, and some of them are missing and scattered throughout the house. You know how it goes.
Now, as a, like, of course, moving into an old Midwest house, in the basement, the old man before had like a tool area, and so I was like, oh, just put my stuff here.
That's really convenient. Yeah.
And I'm slowly gaining more tools the more I'm having to do home renovations, and so
the amount of times that we go to Home Depot, or the Deeps as we call it, the amount of time that we go to the Deeps and buy stuff that we already have, because it's just all over the place. We can never remember what we have or what we don't have. So we'll go and we'll buy something at the Deeps and come home, and 2 weeks later be like, fuck, we already had 3 of these.
See, I'm not that bad. I have a pretty good inventory, except for like maybe screws. I'm always like, we could always use more. And it's like, what am I doing that requires?
What am I screwing this much besides me?
Myself.
Yeah, I'm screwing myself. Anyways,
with all these screws I'm buying.
Yeah. Anyways, like we said,
by these screws.
Screw you.
All
Why was that Jerry Seinfeld for some reason? What's the deal with screws?
I don't know if we've talked about it. I went and saw Jerry Seinfeld came to Omaha.
Oh, no shit.
With Jim Gaffigan.
Ooh, that's a good lineup.
It was like getting 2 headliners for the price of one. Like the tickets, like we got the nosebleeds, of course. And like all in with fees and stuff were like only $50. And I was like,
that's a great deal.
Yeah. Like, and then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, technically I like, if I think about it, $25 per huge name comedian is a really great deal.
Well, I mean, especially who a lot of people consider kind of the godfather of modern day stand-up.
Yeah. And I thought I had heard like from someone's parents where they're like, yeah, Jerry's not great live stand-up. And I was like, oh. And so I went into it with like really low expectations, and he like knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he is. The only thing I've ever heard about Seinfeld live is he is so polished.
He is very polished and a lot more like, I don't want to say angry, but like like self-deprecating Jewish man. Oh
yeah, I mean, just watching Seinfeld, you can tell.
Yeah,
him and Larry David get along for a reason.
Yeah,
no, which one of them headlined? Was it Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry headlined. Jim Gaffigan was okay. Like,
yeah,
he was more dirty than his other stand-up I've seen before.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, no, it was...
Was it just those 2?
They had an opener, but parking took so long, we like missed a good chunk of the opener.
Wow, in Nebraska, huh?
Yeah, I honestly thought we would just roll up and park in like the parking lots by the Omaha Arena.
Yeah.
But that sold out very quickly, and so we had to go like find a garage like a little distance away. Which
wait, so it was at the arena, and you only paid $25?
Well, at $50 per ticket, but
wow, that's a really good deal.
Well, it's again Omaha, Nebraska, but
yeah, it's also the nosebleeds.
It was hilarious though. Of like it was mostly sold out, but there were like patches of areas where like the tickets were more expensive, but like you could see very clearly where the line was of where the cheap tickets started and the more expensive ones like ended, because it was completely packed where we were sitting, and then like you could see like 10 rows ahead of us is like where it started to get a little more patchy.
And then the old school, the old money was sitting up front, of course.
Oh yeah. I'm still a big person of I don't like comedy in arenas. I get it. I would never be able to see Jerry Seinfeld actually, we were supposed to see Jerry Seinfeld like right after COVID. He was supposed to be in Sioux City, Iowa.
Oof. That's a rough
and
one.
He canceled like 3 times, and then after like the 3rd time, they're like, "We're just going to give you your money back."
Yeah. I kind of don't blame him for that one.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm sure he canceled because he just didn't sell that well.
I think he did sell it out, but I think one of the times I think 2 of the times it ended up because the Pop-Tart movie. We later learned.
Right. Did you watch that?
Yeah, it was
honestly,
okay.
I liked it.
It's one of those movies where like I watched it and enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'll go back.
Yeah, shocking that I liked it. I mean, there's not many movies or shows that I'm like, that was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was exactly what you would expect from Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, of a Pop-Tart, a movie about Pop-Tarts. Like,
yeah, it was great. I liked it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Taking comedy to an arena does kind of ruin because the whole point of comedy is like they're talking to you, telling you a story. And when you're sitting there in an arena with tens of thousands of people or whatever, and then the distance it has to travel, there's like a delay. I don't know. It just seems weird.
Because so much about comedy is a lot about like physical bits, especially Jerry Seinfeld, because he is so animated. Of like, I can't physically actually see him that well, so I'm just watching a screen for the most part.
Well, and then it's like, why wouldn't I just be at home?
Yeah,
and just watch the special? Because I mean, if he's on tour, that means he's filming a special.
I would assume so.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'll just wait. But I love the, and I think we've talked about this to death, but I do love the smaller venues if I can help it. Theaters are generally as big as I like to go for stand-up.
Yeah. Usually most stand-up I've seen, if it's a bigger name, has been in a theater, unless it was like when we were living in Denver and it would be like day of, I don't want to say secret show because they weren't like secret, but it was like someone who's just traveling to get polished.
Right.
And so it would be like day of, you would buy like tickets would be announced. Like they're like, oh, they're here if you want to come see them. So we got to see some comedians that way. And like the tiny, like in an actual comedy club, Shout Out Comedy Works downtown Denver, like one of the best comedy.
Yeah, that is like world renowned as one of the best clubs.
You get like, that's where the actual like big names go if they're not in, I would say Denver, fourth best comedy scene. I would say
that's probably fair.
New York, LA, Chicago, and then probably Denver.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's probably fair. That's what I've heard as well. Honestly, I have heard that Omaha's a pretty big market.
It's pretty good. I am like still like loosely tied in. For some reason, Facebook in the and every comedy scene is still going strong. That seems to be what is how the best way to communicate for comedians is Facebook still.
Which is strange, right?
Yeah, so I'm still part of like that Facebook group, and their shows a lot, and like it is nice. Like Omaha does have like an actual dedicated comedy club now. That's really cool in downtown. Oh, they're moving the Funny Bone.
Oh, are they really?
Not like that far, but they're moving. It's going from like Village Point. This is now just a purely Omaha talk, but like, you know, Village Point, like 168th and Dodge to 114th and Dodge.
Oh, okay. Is it getting a bigger space? Do you know?
I would assume so because it's like a dead strip mall.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I hope so. I hope they build some more stuff in there too, make it more interesting in that area.
Yeah, that's one thing about Funny Bones that I've ever seen. They're always like in suburby areas and not like downtown fun areas. They're always very suburby. So
yeah, agreed. Can we talk about Hawaii? I've been dying to talk about Hawaii.
Yeah, you went a bit ago, and I don't think we've talked about it once.
Yeah, I was like,
we didn't also finish my story about me running, but.
Oh yeah, well here we go. Let's get into it then.
Okay,
I've been dying to talk about this.
Yes, I know.
Because I have a question for you before we start.
Okay.
I have to know, because if you're anything like me, the answer is yes. Have you ever been pitched and or sat through either an MLM scheme or a timeshare scheme?
I have not. You know, there was a period with Facebook there where it's like that kid you knew from high school you haven't talked to in a decade reaches out and they're like, hey, I got a great opportunity for you. And it's like, no, you were jerking off in the bathroom like during high school. You were that kid, man.
Well, do I have the deal for you?
That's exactly who I want to go in business with.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, and I think I would go for like a free dinner, but Abby would stop me before we would go. She's like, "We're not doing that." I'm like, "It's a free dinner." She's like, "It's not worth our time."
Yeah. Yeah. So you've never actually sat through one?
No, because Abby would probably stop me before that would happen. Have you?
Well, if you take a look at my face, I have what's called MLM pitch face.
Yes.
And people love to try to get me to sign up for their MLM. And I've had multiple people come up to me and be like, I think you'd be a really good fit for my business. And I'm like, okay, what's your business? And they're like, are you a fan of almost making money for years? Like they start pitching you all this random shit. And I'm like, look, I know my face is like this, but I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
So I've gotten my way out of a lot of them. But the reason I bring it up is because when we were in Hawaii, we were on Waikiki Beach at the Hilton, shout out.
Ooh,
and
fancy man.
Yeah, so we got a killer deal.
Hotel.
Well, because once again, Costco, shout out Kirkland, they had a killer deal on a trip to Hawaii. So round trip flights plus hotel plus transport to and from the hotel.
Yeah.
From the airport was like $3,000.
That's pretty good.
So we were like, okay, that's great.
Hilton too.
And in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So it was a killer deal. We were like, I can't believe that we're doing this.
Well, you were kind of like a nice like off-season time, like post-holiday. They're probably like that's probably one of the better times because I'm guessing it wasn't crazy busy.
Well,
that's
what I'm getting into here. So the first night, it was a Thursday night that we got there, or yeah, I think whatever. Abby's gonna hear this and hate me for getting all the details wrong. No, but essentially, I believe it was a Thursday night that we got there, and it was perfect, super dead, had the whole like Waikiki Beach to ourselves pretty much. Just had a great time, went out to eat, blah, blah, blah. The next morning we wake up and the entire campus of Waikiki Beach and the Hilton area overrun with this tech dork conference. Just absolute losers in these ties walking around like, you guys want to go do something over here? Like taking up all the walking ways. You couldn't get anywhere. And so by like the third night of them being there, we were so fed up. We couldn't go to any of the restaurants in the area because they were all sold out. We couldn't go down to the bar because they were all sitting there. So we were like, we got to get off this campus. And so we went down to the front desk and we're like, can we just book this sunset cruise or whatever? We got to get out of here. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. We'll book that. So it'll be $350 or if you walk over to that other building, they're going to talk to you about some opportunities that Hilton has for you. And the second they said that, I knew exactly what it was going to be.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't get to say it in time before Abby agreed to it. And so instead of it being $300, the reason Abby said yes is because it was $25.
So it saved you $325.
Exactly. And then they said, if you go and you sit through this pitch, they'll also give you a $50 gift card.
Okay.
So essentially we were going to make $25.
Yeah.
And so in my head, I'm like, okay, so they're going to pitch us a timeshare.
Mm-hmm. They're
going to give us a $50 gift card. And now magically it went from $350 to $25. I was like, this sunset cruise that they're going to give us is going to be maybe our last cruise ever. Like they're going to kill us. Like it's $25 is insane.
No, it's actually the Implications.
That's the name of the boat, the Implications.
So, you're out there, they're trying to sell you a timeshare. They're like, yeah, we're out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. No one can hear you scream out here.
And come out to the ocean for some tasty treats. You're like, are we the tasty treats?
The implications of it.
the captain's missing a foot. You're like, uh-oh. Was that like a shark attack or something? He's like,
a peg leg. You could get a normal prosthetic.
Diabetes. But yeah. So anyway, I was asking because I knew exactly what it was going to be. And Abby was just like so ready to leave the area that she was just like, that's fine, whatever, let's do it. But she had never been pitched anything like that before. She had never been pitched an MLM.
Oh yeah,
she's never sat through
that.
Yeah, she never sat through a timeshare pitch.
Yeah.
And as if it's not bad enough to sit in that room and have somebody embarrass themselves for an hour, then
was it only an hour? That was going to be my question.
Oh no, it started as just an hour.
Okay.
Which was this person named Aloha. Just my name's Aloha, of course. And she was like Miss Hawaii and was selling this like, yeah, the Hilton is all this great stuff. And you're just sitting there for an hour, and the jokes that she's trying to make and how she's like, the Hilton family is just so, it's just, it makes your skin crawl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, ugh. And then as if that's not enough, it's not enough to just sit through that. If you left after that, you didn't get your card. You have to sit through the whole thing.
Yeah, you have to finish.
Yeah. And so then they bring in, of course, a Hilton representative to sell you it, right? And we basically said from the beginning, like, we're not interested. And of course, that's an open invitation to sell us harder. And so we sat with this lady for another hour and a half. So 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Finally, she gets the hint that we're not interested. And she goes, okay, well, somebody from corporate's going to come in and talk to you, make sure that everything, we did everything above board, blah, 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 blah. And as soon as she left, I look at Abby and I go, are you ready for the final pitch?
No. Yeah.
She goes, what are you talking about? Like, they're bringing them in to do one last, okay, seriously, this is all we can do. They always act like you're like a burden on them.
They're
okay,
like,
this is all we're going to be able to do for you. Like, this is our final
hardball, we can see you're a real smart cookie here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so she tries to sell us. Yeah, she tries to sell us just a Hilton vacation, not a timeshare.
Yeah.
But then at the bottom, you still have to like sign a bunch of stuff. I was like, no, I don't want to sign my name on anything that you are giving me.
Yeah.
And so she finally busts out the $50 gift card, and she's like, all right, well, just so you know, if you ever change your mind, it's never going to be this price again. And I was like, I don't doubt it. Like, of course it's not. So I had to ask you if you've ever been through something like that, because I'm getting tired of it.
Oh God, I wish I could really shout out the YouTuber who I watch this, but he did a excellent, like, almost a documentary on those pitches, and he went through, because it was like he was pitched ended up being like a free trip to Universal Studios in LA.
Okay.
And the amount of levels you have to go through, and then he had to keep calling, and then eventually they do give you the free trip, but the free trip's like, it literally is like a flight that is, so he was like, I think based out of like the east, somewhere on the East Coast, but like they pick you up. It's like not like a private flight, but essentially, but like imagine a Greyhound, essentially, of where you have to stop at each different city because they have to pick up people along the way, like a school bus.
But like a flight?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then they finally get there, and it's only like 24 hours. And then you have to get back.
You have to get back and do that shit again?
Yes.
Oh.
And then they like give you a free hotel room, but it's like he was like, yes, I took the flight out there for free, and they got free Universal, but then he was like, I booked a separate hotel, but I have to go look at like what they booked me.
Of course you do.
And it was terrifying.
Yeah. And I love that when in their pitch, they're trying to sell us like, when you buy a timeshare with us at Hilton, you get a spacious, beautiful 1-bedroom with a kitchenette and a refrigerator and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's hilarious, because the room that we have right now is huge. It's way bigger than the one that you're showing us. And we got it for way cheaper than what this deal is going to be. So what the fuck are you talking about here? And they're like, the one thing that they'll never tell you too, because I asked this question several times, they're always selling you points.
Yes,
right. The Hilton points. They went over the points, but I asked, what is the cost of a point?
Yeah.
What is it to dollars? And they're like, oh yeah, I know you're the financial guy. We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
And they never get to that part. And then they go, when you buy a Hilton timeshare, we also waive the resort fees.
Yeah.
And then they say, but every year you pay $1,000 in HOA fees. It's like, so you don't waive the resort fees. It's the same fucking thing. So I just don't understand. I feel bad for anybody who's fallen for that stuff because they really do a good job of selling it to you. But when you just look at it, look at the numbers, look what you're getting, and then understand that you're never going to be able to take another type of vacation again.
Nope.
It's only going to be that forever.
Yep. I found the guy. So the guy's name is, I'm going to shout him out because he did such a great job.
Shout out.
Elijah Lemard,
Shout out.
Lemard. And the YouTube video is called, I actually tried the free vacation no one dares to take.
Ooh, what's his name again?
Elijah Lemard.
Elijah Lemard, come on the podcast.
Yeah,
we haven't had a guest shout out in a long time. No. We need a guest, goddammit.
Yeah, no, the video has 3.25 million views. So I don't know if but yeah, no,
why not?
Really great in depth and like kind of it's a half an hour long video, but you kind of live vicariously through like what exactly Damien was talking about, like the final boss.
Oh, it's terrible. The final pitch is always so aggressive. They get so mad. And then they hand you the gift card in this little envelope and they essentially throw it at you. Like, here, thanks for your time. Yeah. They're so mad. It's like, thanks for wasting my time. I'm like, you wasted my fucking time. I was trying to book a pleasure cruise and now you've taken 3.5 hours of my day.
I love though how they like the head, like the concierge at the Hilton Hotel, like just was like fucking setting it up for them. Like,
and he even he was really cool, but he even said, he's like, it's gonna be a long sell. They're gonna sell you this stuff, but it's a $25 cruise. But then what he didn't bother telling us is the cruise that we were doing didn't go anywhere. It didn't do anything. It just went out for half a mile and came back.
That's also what we need to dig into was, cruise? Like,
it was just like a semi fishing, it wasn't even a P. Diddy style shrimping vessel. It was legitimately just like a kind of barge type fishing boat.
Also, you have to probably remember, you're also with people who just sat through a timeshare. So just a bunch of pissed off people on a boat.
It was horrible. And they go, you got to kick off your shoes. You go there. Shout out to the...
They make you take off your shoes.
Yeah, you couldn't wear shoes on the boat. So you had to kick off your socks and shoes and put them in this little tread chest.
I don't
they would just throw you in the ocean if they saw those.
So quickly.
Yeah, they saw your feet. They'd feed them to the fish.
They would just vomit. Because yes, I did see you post a picture on the gram, and I was like, I was gonna that actually makes it so much more hilarious that you had to, because I was like scrolling through and I showed Abby it, and I was like, I know Damien hates being barefoot. Like, he wears socks all the time.
It was awful.
And now I know why. You were forced.
I was forced.
You were forced to be barefoot.
I was like, luckily I made $25. Otherwise, we'd be out of here. It was fucking atrocious. And so, but the captain and stuff was really cool. But yeah, so you get on there. They go, and because you sat through this, you get 2 free cocktails.
On this boat?
10.
Okay.
10 people who had to go through the same bullshit we did. And so they're like, yeah, two drinks are included. It was actually kind of cool because they had the taps on board. So they were serving local beers and stuff like that. And then when we got on, he goes, look, you're our last cruise of the night. They say 2 complimentary drinks. To be honest, just keep ordering. It doesn't matter to us.
Holy shit.
And so
they're getting paid by the Hilton people.
Exactly. And within, the first 15 minutes, I was 2 beers deep and then started switching to Mai Tais and shit.
After you just sat through a fucking timeshare.
Yeah, I needed that. And the captain and the first hands and people they were all really cool. But yeah, so you you go in there, you go on the boat, you're drinking, they go out, and then you're looking around and you're like, we're turning around, and we went a half a mile. Like we weren't going anywhere.
What is the time? How long are you on the boat when they're starting to make the turnaround?
25 minutes.
All right.
So the cruise itself was about an hour. Now, keep in mind, we got some really beautiful pictures out of it, and Abby and I tend to make fun out of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, that was not worth sitting through 3.5 hours of a timeshare pitch.
Yeah.
But it also wasn't worth the $350.
Yeah. I wonder if the $351 was like actually like legitimate though. Like would have been not that hour. Like you got the shitty timeshare pitched. These are the people who did. I wonder if the people who actually got like actually did buy the timeshares got the real. Like I wonder if the $351 was actually like 3 hours.
Yeah, I wonder, because I was like, this was such a waste of time and money, and we made $25.
At least you got free drinks.
Yeah, free drinks. Unfortunately, it was just small enough of a boat where Abby had to use the restroom and immediately got motion sick.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Because, the smaller the boat, the more the waves hit you. Oof, she was not feeling good. But I was like, take a picture of me fishing.
Did you actually get a fish, or was it just...
Nah, they just cast it out and I was just holding it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my experience there. And then, we were just hanging out on the resort. I sunburned my armpits.
Yeah.
How was your time while I was in Hawaii?
Well, I was going to ask, did you do any more excursions or anything?
No, we really were using it as an excuse. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast, but I had pretty severe blood clots for a month or so. So we were kind of like, Damien's been just sitting around because they wouldn't let me do anything. I couldn't work out. I couldn't play basketball. I couldn't do anything while they were doing all these testing and stuff like that. Yeah. So as soon as I kind of got in the clear, we had this flight booked, and we were like, let's just go to Hawaii and just chill.
Yeah, no.
But better now. Everything's good.
Yeah, no, yeah. That was a terrifying text to get from you, being like, hey.
Yeah. I think I said
for like a day and a half, and I was like, that's not good.
Yeah, I think I just texted you something like, "Your boy's got blood clots." You're like, what? I texted that to Keegan too, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need like 60% more information. You can't just say that."
And I was like, "Yeah, cool, man. Like,
sounds rad." What is that? The next band that's coming on?
The Blood Clots.
The Blood Clots.
That's got to be a band, right?
Oh, it's got to be. If not, that's our next band. But... Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So while I was getting my armpits burned by the sun, how was it for you?
Yeah. So we went through I don't know if it was technically a polar vortex, but it got down to the wind chill was like -10, -15.
Oh my God.
But I still had to run. Again, we do have a treadmill, but can't use it because we're redoing the basement.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, I'll just layer up and go running. And so I'm just like a marshmallow man running. I
the Michelin
have
man.
My only exposed skin is this area.
Oh God.
But I had to smear Vaseline on my face.
Yeah. That's actually really smart.
Because then it doesn't. But during the winter, I just always kind of have a runny nose. And I sent you a photo. I was running, and my beard starts to freeze here now and then. But I got home, and I was like, huh. And I went and looked in the mirror, and my snot had made icicle. Legit, I looked like a walrus.
It was one of the most horrific texts I've seen. One of the most horrific pictures I've seen over my phone.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God. Snotcicles. Meanwhile, I'm getting laid in Hawaii. Leis and Snotcicles.
Leis and Snotcicles.
Clip it.
Yeah.
Leis and Snotcicles.
Snotcicles. Yeah. No, it was and I think I had gone, how long? was like an 18-mile run and
Ugh.
like negative.
Keep in mind, folks, he's not getting paid to do this.
No, I just enjoy it.
Just a glutton for punishment.
And as the running community says, cheaper than therapy.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, and so I sent that photo, and then you sent me like a photo of you and Abby like next to a waterfall.
Yes. Yeah. Also, I mentioned the Michelin Man. I wanted to talk about this too. Hawaii is not necessarily known for its food culture.
I would say I love Hawaiian food.
It's like, Loco Moco and, a lot of just kind of American style food. Of course, they're poke and stuff like that. And then the luau's with the pigs. But we ended up stumbling into a place that had only been open for about a year.
Yeah.
It's called El Cielo. And I will tell you right now, that place will have a Michelin star within the next 3 years.
Yes, you sent me pictures of that.
Oh my God. It was everything we ordered. And I mean, I just went balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Because the prices were so cheap.
Because it's like a up and comer kind of.
Mm-hmm. And they're using all of this fresh ingredients, but they know, you can't just open a restaurant and immediately start charging out the ass for stuff. So
no.
I told them, I was like, you guys are, you're on your way to a Michelin star. I've been to a Michelin star before, and the food here, albeit not as creative, was definitely tastier than what we had at the Fat Duck.
Yeah, because the Fat Duck was more of like the experience. What was it fucking called? The sensorium?
The sensorium.
And so, I think I would prefer like a place that actually uses like the best ingredients that they can get and cook it in a way where like, because sometimes I feel like with Michelin stars, not like I've been to anyone or will ever probably go to one because
they wouldn't let you in.
I would see this be like, that man has had Snotcicles. He's
gonna use them as chopsticks.
Hey man, that would go great with a I don't even know, gallon of saffron.
A gallon of saffron. Call back. Holy shit.
Call back, baby.
That's a call back. Holy shit. Listen to, dude, by the way, real quick, that is one of our least listened to episodes, and that is a goddamn shame.
It has me draw pictures of the saffron plant.
It is a good one. Go back and listen to that one, folks.
Yeah. But like sometimes it gets too weird. Like, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Like, you're trying too hard.
TTH.
I don't.
Trying too hard.
No, I've never heard it abbreviated like that.
You gotta. When you're talking shit right in front of them. Hey, TTH. This place is TTH.
And so, like, it definitely sounds like the play. Sorry, what was the name again? We're gonna shout
El Cielo. Shout out.
It sounded like it was more of being like they're creative. Like they probably had a very good like a lot of the times when you walk into a place, you're like the less things on the menu is a very good sign.
Yeah, I don't want pages of menu. It was literally
the Cheesecake Factory menu.
No, it was a front side, which was the food, and the back side, which was the wine and cocktails.
Yeah, no,
that's what I want.
That's
and
how you got the quality of a restaurant for the most part.
Yeah, we got the best ube Basque cheesecake. It was unbelievable. It was like a Spanish style restaurant, which guess by the name. One of my favorites.
Not Portuguese.
Yeah, not Portuguese. But yeah, the paella was the best I've ever had.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I loved about when we went to Hawaii is like I'm not a huge fish fan for the most part, but like having some of the freshest fish ever.
Yeah.
Like where you can clearly tell that was like caught that morning.
Oh yeah. The catch of the day
is so nice, because anything that comes from the sea, I'm like, I don't know if I want it in Nebraska.
I know. Yeah, it took me a long time to get to enjoying fish as well, because it's just there is such a difference between fresh and frozen.
Yeah, like it's just you lose something with the freezing process in that.
Absolutely. But yeah, so as we're So we just stumbled into that place because we were just walking around. And one of the things that I noticed about a lot of the restaurants, specifically in that area of Waikiki, is it's a lot of fusion restaurants. And as I was walking, I was seeing all these fusion restaurants, and I was like, it just hit me like a light bulb. And I haven't told you this yet because I wanted to see your reaction, but I was like, I want to open a fusion restaurant in Hawaii, and it's going to be a pho and curry place.
Okay.
So it's like a pho and curry fusion, and I want to name it Mother.
Okay.
And so it would be Mother Pho Curry.
God damn it. That is great.
That's good. That's good. Come on now. That's
good.
pretty good. Mother Pho Curry.
Pho Curry. Yes.
Motherfuckery.
I think it, and spelled PHO space CURRY.
Yeah, I was thinking either space or the hyphen.
Hyphen would, yeah. Well,
yeah, okay, motherfuckery.
Like, well, it won't test even be close to the best fusion restaurant, though.
Why is that?
Carlos O'Kelly's.
Oh, no. Oh,
that's a good callback.
Wow. I think we got to end it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, folks. Go back and listen to our old shit.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, please. Bye.
Bye.